Hello and welcome to Switch Scheme. It's a new week, and that means of course we have new eShop sales. Over the weekend, I took a look at all the games on the eShop discount section and picked a few games that caught my eye. I tried to pick a mix of genres and age ranges to give you a more informed idea of what sales to look for. Let's take a look at a couple games for our younger gamers. First, we have the LEGO Harry Potter collection, coming in at $9.99, a whopping 80% off. The LEGO games are a fantastic example of taking an IP and making it fun for all ages. Whether you want to collect every nut and bolt or relive all the moments from your favorite movies, the LEGO Harry Potter games have you covered. And at $10, you can look forward to upwards of 35 to 40 hours of content. And that's if you just stick to the main story. Completionists trying to collect all the characters and blocks could see over 100 hours of stuff to do. The humor of the LEGO games has always been kid-friendly, although it can be mildly, and I mean very mildly, crude. If you or your youngster love the Harry Potter franchise or just love Legos, you can't go wrong with LEGO Harry Potter. The sale goes on until November 12th, so you have 6 days to fly into the new adventure. As an extra, if your kiddo has more of a superhero vibe, LEGO Superheroes 2 is also on sale for $8.99. In fact, almost all the LEGO games are on sale, but these are the ones that I would recommend for the younger audience. The Star Wars Skywalker Saga is also a great game, but it comes in at $20 right now and isn't on as deep of a sale as the others. But if your kid is a huge Star Wars fan and you're willing to pay the extra $10 for that, I would definitely go there. For our Sims fans, I saw one of my favorite games was on sale, the Escapist 2, and it sees you playing an inmate with the ultimate goal, of course, of busting out. If you love movies like Shawshank Redemption or The Great Escape, you'll really enjoy this. It's not as simple as just digging a hole in the wall with a spoon though. You have to be at your roll call. You have to be present during your appointments, meal times, and more. You have to find a way to balance being a good inmate with also being bad and calculating every move that will lead to your inevitable escape. The game is a sandbox sim, so you have many options afforded to you, but it is also very restrictive because of these set events that require your attention. You can't disappear for hours on end without drawing the attention of the guards, and that balance is what makes the puzzle of the Escapist so enjoyable. Currently, the game is 80% off for the next 5 days, and to me, that's really worth it. No Kuni 2 is set 100 years after the first game and continues the wonderful storytelling that Level 5 delivered in Wrath of the White Witch. Unfortunately, the first game is not on sale at this time and it comes in at a whopping $50, but the loosely related sequel, Revenant Kingdom, is 75% off at $15. The story is charming, wherein the president is knocked unconscious due to an explosion, and when he awakens, he finds himself in the kingdom of Ding Dong Dell. Before you can figure anything out, he's integrated into a local political coup, and the story just continues on beyond that. The combat is action RPG goodness, mixing light and heavy attacks with skills and magic. The art style is absolutely gorgeous, and although it's not specifically Studio Ghibli this time, thanks to a consultant on board, it retains the magical charm and music of Studio Ghibli level presentations. With upwards of 50 hours of story to dive into, No Kuni 2 for $15 is a steal, and you have 6 days to grab it off the eShop. Deep tactical fans, I wanted to bring your attention to Doorkickers. It's only $1, and I promise that if you enjoy deep strategy, you will definitely get the value out of a single dollar. The game sees you operate SWAT-like incursions where you have to map out your unit's path in a preparation mode, using either the touchscreen or the stick, planning how they interact with the environment, corners, doors, and enemies. Once you have everything planned out, you basically hit the go switch and see how everything plays. The units will enter doorways as instructed, engage, and potentially die. Failing the mission is going to be part of it. With all the new knowledge at your disposal, you can map out new routes and plans and hopefully keep them alive. Maybe you give an order this time to throw a flashbang instead of just simply opening the door. The game is hard and the difficulty ramps up drastically, but it will keep you very busy if you intend to beat all the content. Doorkickers is currently 91% off, like I said, selling for only $1 for the next 7 days. Onimusha Warlords came out back in 2001 and has always been one of my personal favorites. It has the same control style and combat as Resident Evil, but has you playing a samurai battling demons inspired by Japanese folklore and legend. If you have never played it, I highly recommend giving it a try. It's not going to be as precise as a Dark Souls or as quick and flashy as a Ninja Gaiden, but the combat is quick, and it requires a keen sense of when to block, dodge, and strike. Each enemy type will test your ability to adapt all of these stances to fit into each skirmish. Onimusha is currently 60% off for the next 11 days, coming in at $8. For roguelike fans, let's take a look at the big sale occurring for Children of Morta. The game is a retro pixel-style roguelite that has you play one of the Bergson family members in an attempt to save the land from Mount Morta, as you dive into dungeons and go as far as you can, gathering unlockables, currency, and experience. Eventually, as a roguelite, you will fail, and thankfully some of your upgrades and unlockables will be permanent, which in turn, of course, makes each subsequent run a bit easier until you hit a new difficulty spike or area where your knowledge is basically tested. It's admittedly not my favorite roguelite on the Switch, that would have to go to Dead Cells, but I think many who love the formula will find this well worth the asking price. The game is currently 75% off, asking for $5.50 for the next 7 days. Another one for the sim crowd, but very different, we have Sheltered. You play the part of a family stuck in their fallout shelter after the world, of course, goes up in flames thanks to a nuclear holocaust. Your main aim in the game is to keep them alive as long as you possibly can, which is much easier said than done. If you've ever played a game such as this War of Mine, then you will immediately feel the influence here when it comes to the sad and dour circumstances of every decision you have to make. Think of it as a modern Oregon Trail. You could cross the river without a raft at the risk of drowning, or waste your time building the raft to just catch dysentery. The combat is turn-based, but honestly, that's not really why we're going to be here. It's not flashy combat or anything like that, and it is basic to its core. What we're here for is the storytelling, and whether or not you can keep your family alive to the end. And that is the fundamental part of the game. If you're a fan of this War of Mine or Fallout Shelter or something of that kin, I would say give this a try. Sheltered is currently 80% off, running you $3 for the next 5 days. For those of us who enjoy side-scrolling, let's take a look at Deader School. The game admittedly isn't perfect. It was a small 2 to 3 person team working on a couch cushion budget, but what they produced was quite well done. The optimization isn't where it should be, and you'll see some frame dip now and then, and the character models are kind of flimsy thanks to their 2D style, but the story is actually really intriguing. Humans and mutants were at war for 70 years and split into two, those who live above ground and those under. Our main character is an undergrounder who wants to see what's above. It's much more deep than that, and it kept me extremely engaged. But the combat is so good, and the reason why I like this game so much. You control 3 types of weapons, melee, ranged, and explosive, and you have to balance their use for each scenario. The controls are tight, and the amount of loot is almost pinata status. Deader School won me over, and hopefully it can win you over as well. It's currently 70% off at $9 for the next 9 days. Lastly, for those who enjoy the good old days, Namco Museum collection is currently on sale. It's got classics such as Pac-Man, Galaga, Splatterhouse, and much more. Originally, it came in to about $3 per game. It was selling at $30 asking price, and it has a 10-game library. It is now currently 84% off, and if you're looking at cents on the dollar per game, you can't beat that. Some are even multiplayer. If you're a fan of arcade nostalgia and scoffed at the idea of paying that much for a game 30 or so years old, now's your chance to grab these classics at a massive discount. The Namco Museum and its library of 10 games comes in at 84% off, $4.79 for the next 13 days. Also, before I let you go, I wanted to bring to your attention the Black Friday deals that were just announced by Nintendo, literally as I was making this video. Select stores starting on November 19th will have the OLED model packaged with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate featuring custom Joy-Cons. It looks like this bundle will come in at $349.99, which is almost $70 off the usual MSRP for this type of package. The bundle will also include a 3-month code for Nintendo Online to play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with your friends. As of November 10th, for partygoers, there will be a Mario Party bundle that features the game as well as additional Joy-Cons, so you can get more people playing. And starting on November 19th, there will also be a huge discount for first-party titles, a sentence that we don't get to hear said often enough. Up to $20 off will be for Breath of the Wild, Luigi's Mansion 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Mario Odyssey. The games that were announced that will have a deeper discount will include Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which, if you've always said you refuse to pay full price for a Wii U port, here's your chance, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, and Minecraft Legends. 1-2 Switch is also announced to get a discount, but honestly, who cares about 1-2 Switch? Well, there you go, a few games that I saw in the eShop this weekend that deserve your time. If you enjoy this video and want to see this potentially become a weekly thing, let me know by dropping a like. If you saw a sale that you feel should be shared, let us know in the comments down below. Until next time, this has been Switch Scheme, and have a great day.